What is up, my people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your boy Naseem the Dream, and we are continuing on. We are almost done with the annual Ntd Awards. And ladies and gentlemen, I will be presenting the top 50 singles of 2022. Now, just for a quick update and reminder, this will be the second to last video. The next video will be my top 50 albums of the year, and we will be done for the year for videos. Of course, obviously, I'm going to come back even stronger next year, but I'm definitely going to be taking a really nice, well-deserved break once I upload the 50 albums video. But let's just enough talk. Let's try to burn through these singles. I'm going to try to brief through them as quickly as I can while still giving my input of why I really like these tracks. Let's get into it. At the number 50 spot, I'll be awarding it to the very popular Harry Styles, As It Was. 49 spot is gonna go straight to Toi et Moi for The Loop. 48, we're gonna give it to the UK's favorite indie pop band, the 1975's I'm in Love With You, my. 47, that will be Superorganism with their single Teenager. The 46th spot is gonna go to Nia Archives for the track So Tell Me. 45, with the new and very popular Steve Lacy single, Bad Habit. Very addictive song. 44 to one of my favorite synth pop tracks of the year from US girls, So Typically Now. 43 to one of my favorite bands of all time, Paramore, with the track This Is Why. 42 given to Floating Points on the track Problems. And then I'm gonna drop 41 spot to HEATLH and their collaboration with Lamb of God on the track Cold Blood. 40 is gonna go straight to Carolina Polachek on her fascinating single with some of the best performances that she's ever given so far, Welcome to My Island. 39, I will be giving it to the Pierce the Veil track, Past Nirvana, a track I was originally a little bit in the middle on, but giving it a lot more time to simmer through. This is quite the explosive track from Pierce the Veil, and I've been really enjoying it. 38, I'll be giving it to the great and wonderful Porter Robinson for his track Everything Goes On. 37 is gonna go straight to Planning to Rock to the track Visible. 36 to Gene Dawson's great little folk indie track Pirate Radio. And then we're gonna give the 35 spot to the great single from the one and only Florence and the Machine, King. 34, one of the best hip-hop tracks to come out and one of the best tracks from Pusha T on his newest record. I'm going to give it to his track Neck and Wrist. 33 goes to the hot and spicy Rosalia Saoko. 32 spot, I'm going to give that to Mura Massa for the track Baby Cakes featuring Lil Uzi, Shy Girl, and Pink Panthers. Wonderful pop track, great production. I love the contribution from all these artists on here. They all work so well with each other. 31 goes to the very endearing and sweet Weezer, I Want a Dog. 30, I'm going to drop that to another HEATLH track, but this time featuring Poppy, the track Dead Flowers. 29 is gonna go to straight to Illuminati Heidi Sandwich Sharer. 28 is gonna see me giving some love to some post-hardcore from the band Gospel on the track Deerghost. And then 27 is gonna go to one of my favorite ambient electronic tracks from Toki Monster and Morgan, Love By You. And then on the 26th spot, that will be given to Guerilla Toss for the track Famously Alive. Very bright track, very vivid, very heart-pumping, energetic. I really like what they did with this track. Moving on to the other half of the list, we are now at the top 25. I'm going to give the 25 spot to Joey Badass, Survivor's Guild. Just so much heart and compassion just poured from Joey on here. There's just some incredible poetry from the man. A monologue towards the end of the last leg of this track that really sticks with you. And just a great chorus as well featuring Joey with some great singing on here. Joey just coming in, really just showing some heart and sharing grief on this while blending in with like some sorrow and gloom of some hip hop. And it's just an honorable listen, truly. 24 is gonna go to one of the most exciting Guerilla tracks I've heard as of late. It's gonna go straight to Cracker Island featuring Thundercat. 23, I will be giving it to my favorite Pink Panthers collab this year with Sam Gillitree, Picture in My Mind. Love the dance vibes, love the way they're going on structure-wise. Patches to Passage is just really addictive, just gets even more head bumping. I really love what she does on here. 22 goes to the great JID on the track Dance Now with Kenny Mason. Rhythms are intact, beats are intact. JID showing so much versatile into his personality onto this track. And Kenny Mason also providing a pretty interesting chorus as well. Great track from JID. 21 goes to the wacky Heidi Ho featuring Q-Tip by the one and only Jack White. Already love how this enters in with some very wacky operatic type of singing into the intro of the song, and then goes straight into some bass plucks and just really kicks it off with Jack and Q-Tip, which is really just going head first into this track. I love what these two do on here. This track might not be for everybody, but listen, dude, this one resonates with me very well. Probably one of the best singles that I've heard. My favorite one from Jack this year. 20, I will be dropping that to Big Thief for Simulator Simulation Swarm. So much variation in terms of the strings. Sometimes they can come in really clean, very quiet, and they get a little bit more louder as we progress more into the track. Really sounds a lot more electronic rock. The song is just excellently written, and it was just one of the best singles to prep up to their album. Love this song. 19 is gonna go to the Great Sedan Archives from Homemaker. This is just a bop. You have to check it out. One of the best pop queens out today, and this is one of the tracks that I think you should at least give it a first try to see if you can really dig Sedan Archives, because it's flavor. 18th spot, I'm gonna give that to SZA for the track Shirt. This is probably one of my favorite hip-hop rap cuts I ever heard from SZA so far. I just really love the delivery. It's just so fantastic hearing from SZA. Flow-wise is just so on point. The production is also really well defined. Contemplating at first if I Hate You was the better teaser for the upcoming record, which is amazing. I would say this one really takes the interest to the best peaks of what it is even capable of, because I would say it more resonates with this song than anything else. But the song's amazing. I really love what it is. I love the video, and it's just fantastic. 17, it's gonna go to one of my favorite EDM tracks of the year. I'm gonna be giving that to Dillon Francis, Don't Let Me Go with IILENIUM and GIIA. Yes, this is one of the more basic and simply structured EDM pop tracks you could probably hear of the year. I mean, there's very, very traditional writing aspects into this song, but man, does it really hit with the best elements that these both artists and DJs can really give into it. GIIA does so great with the singing, and the DJs Dillon Francis and IILENIUM really know what they're doing in terms of how they really want to use GIIA's vocal performances. And when it comes to the power that they insert into these saws, into these power chords, into this entire drop, it's just so addictive. It's like a short and sweet build that makes you want to just keep replaying it, and I really love this song. It's so good. 16, man, you want some great 2000s R&B vibes? I'm gonna give that to Flo for the track Cardboard Box. Love this track. Flo is just such a bop. This is such a great start off, especially to their EP, but even as a single man hearing from the group, oh my god. How do you not love this? Especially if you love that era of R&B. This song is calling you. It is calling your name. You must play it. These girls sound wonderful with each other. The chemistry is off the charts. Try it out. All right, we are getting into the number 15 spot, and I will be giving that to Chat Pile for the track Why. This is a very heavy driven post-punk type of track, and I really love it when they go about with the instrumentation, but I think one of my favorite parts about this track easily has to go to the notion that the band really wants to focus on in terms of why we still deal with the issue of homelessness in America. Just hearing off of the frustration from the frontman's just like, you know, emphasis and emotion off of this lyricism, it really kind of generates more fumes from you if this is like a problem that truly really like isn't like an issue to you, if it really bothers you. Once they would keep repeating the question why, as the instrumentation hits harder and harder, you just feel like more of the just demand of answers from them. I think what they really did in terms of writing capabilities, of like, you know, thinking out the process of how this track really wants to reach to the listener, I think they did a very great job, and I really love the song a lot. 14, I'm going to be dropping that to Deadmau5 for the track My Heart Has Teeth featuring Skylar Grey. If you're a big Resident Evil guy, I hated the show that this single went along with, but man, when it comes to the tropes of a zombie apocalypse, this is a perfect track for that. There's so much eeriness into the sound design in here that really pop about, and so much with the synthesizers are still really bright and really popping at the same time. Skylar Grey really just sounds very sorrowful, really gloomy, but at the same time, like, peaks off so much interest in terms of her melodies. They really just suck you right into the track. And like, Deadmau5 is just a great producer. Like, he really just showcases a lot more potential with tracks like this. I mean, he's like one of the OGs into EDM. So, I mean, if you didn't know that already, I mean, well, now you know, I guess. But yeah, the execution on this track was really on point. Like I said, in terms of what they were assigned to, they really understood the assignment of how they really want this track to really skew off with the environment that it's trying to attain to. It's really, really haunting. It's a great track. 13, man. 13 is gonna go to the Gizzlords, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard from Magenta Mountain. God, this band is just so special, man. In terms of the singing and the instrumentation, the way they just jam off, man, I love it with the flute passages on here. I love the singing, that whole Magenta Mountain. Adding more aggression, the number 12 spot, I will be giving it to blackmidi's Welcome to Hell. So much fury into this avant-garde type of style from blackmidi, you know, already kicking it off with a very, very oddball intro in here. And then as it really just goes down, like, you know, like down step melody into, you know, what we're going into with the first verse. And then once you hear that, I feel like that one dog that you see like in that basket that's just like keeps hopping up because he's so excited. That's the entire vibe of the song. blackmidi just comes out with a banger. Number 11, more bangers, more very mind-expanding bangers. Number 11 spot is gonna go to Death's Dynamic Shroud, Judgement Bolt. This is a group that really just tries to challenge the perspective into electronic music, really tries to get deeper and deeper in terms of experimental music, and overall just forward thinking. The dance vibes on here are amazing, and in terms of I want to get really spacious and really mind exploring, it's just a very extravagant experience. And like, this is one of those tracks where you just kind of like have to play it to really understand what it means, what it's trying to really tell you, and how it really like feels. This is definitely their best track of the year, honestly. It's fantastic. Number 10 spot, I will be giving this to another pop queen, the Shy Girl's Slut. What makes me love this track, especially from Shy Girl, she sounds like she's having a whirlwind of fun. So much fun, so much passion on here. Very simple pop structures that I think are just so addictive, so catchy. Things just work so well for this song. In terms of multi-dimensional aspects, it just really expands so much farther. You can really play this anywhere, and I think it's just such a vibe no matter what, especially if you can play it in the club. It's also a great club track. I think she really does a great job on here. Number 9 for some ambient R&B, it's gonna go to FKA Twigs for the track Killer. Already dropping us a pretty banger of an album. Then we follow up with this extra single, Killer. I think this might have been my favorite performance from her in total, including from some of the tracks on Capper Songs. But this one is just straight for the soul, you know? She really just goes about focusing on her melodies, really singing into her entire heart out. And I just love what she goes about. And I just really think the writing in terms of the chorus, the verses, the intros, and overall when it comes to the minimal effects on here, I really do think they work very well to her benefit. It's just a really great listen. Number 8, I will be dropping that to Conway the Machine for the track Stressed. Conway is just coming through with not just a solid, consistent performance, but a completely jarring reality of his life and the struggles that he's experienced throughout, such as losing his cousin through suicide and losing his own son at a very young age. And if you're like me through this song and you didn't even know nearly enough about him and this is all brand new to you, you just kind of really stand there and can't help to feel like I talked about this in my singles of the week when this song came out. I don't know, man. I really, you just left speechless. I think that's what I was really trying to get about. You really are just left speechless and you're like, damn, man, like, you just want to tell this man, like, hey, man, like, I hope you're okay. And then what also makes me really happy about tracks like this is the continuing success of Griselda, and especially the Conway the Machine. He's been dropping some of the best projects and the best music the entire year and continuous, including from last year. It's great hip-hop music, you know, I do love playing it, but at the same time, it's like, it's just a sad reminder of the reality. All right, and then we're gonna switch up the vibe entirely with my number 7 spot to Beyonce's Break My Soul. Is this the dance track of the year? Maybe. But in the scope of mainstream R&B and pop, absolutely. This really does take the cake. Beyonce is just incredible on here. This was a track that really took the time to think about how they really want to go about and to bring influences back from their roots of house music. And man, do they really come about with just some banger production skills, banger songwriting. I really love the progression of this track. It is just so energetic. Beyonce is a glory. She is an angel on this song. And oh, the synthesizers are peeking through this. Like, everything is so bold, so colorful, and it's a perfect track. It really is the perfect dance track. 6, we're gonna go back to the sad vibes. Absolutely, Phoebe Bridgers owns this one with the track Sidelines. This track is just beautiful. It is so gorgeous. It is so sad, you know? But like, this is tracks like where like I really don't feel like sad, but like I feel just sedative. I feel numb to the core, which sounds sad and sounds like I like, you know, like I'm depressed or something. But man, I love feeling that gloom and like, you know, that dark gray realm of music writing. Like the stuff like this when it comes to indie folk is just really like it really hits a soft spot in me. Like it really gets deep into my heart and just really makes me have the most feels, the most dopamine release into my brain. And it is such a gorgeous track. Phoebe Bridgers, the singing is just immaculate on here. She is so perfect. Everything on this track is absolutely beautiful. The atmosphere is just attained to the listeners so well, so beautifully. It is just a well-written track. We are getting into the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5. Nifio Yanya's Midnight Sun. I could not get enough of this track when it first came out, man. And I still love it to this day so much. The execution in total on its own is just so well done. I love what she does with the guitar playing, but then bursting off with the last third leg with a very explosive white noise filled bridge into the outro. It just hits so well. These clean guitars just really stick with you the entire year. And she just kills it performance-wise. This is definitely one of the best songs on her record. And it's on my number 5 spot for a reason. It's one of my favorite tracks of the year. Number 4, we're going to throw some love to some UK rap. I'm going to give it to GIIA for the track London featuring J. Cole. So many different points I got to try out this track and felt something so different from it each time. Hearing it outside of the gym, feeling on a different vibe. Inside the gym, get a different type of pump. And just hearing just the flexing, hearing the fun on here, hearing how well these two artists make. Sometimes it can be a little bit cringe hearing J. Cole trying to mess around, like doing a UK voice. But at the same time, like, man, these two are just having fun. They're killing it. And sometimes when GIIA's on here, I feel like she's just going ape shit. Like, I feel like she's got the hood up. Like, she's got the hood up, and she's ready just to fucking throw down. This is just a hip-hop track that should just stick with you for a reason. This is the one that I think a lot of people really loved for a reason, and man, I think this one is just such a bop. It has such great longevity to it. You know, it's a very simple, to the point, hip-hop, UK rap track, but man, she spits. She has some of the best bars I've heard all year. This third one, I might get a little bit of shit for it. It might be kind of cheating, but I'll explain why this is at my number 3. Number 3, I had to give it to Black Country New Road for the track Concorde. I possibly know what you're thinking. This track came out last year at December. Yes, I understand. I heard it around that time, and I loved the song. I thought it was so good. But I really don't think it had enough time for it to really settle into my interest. The track Isolated by itself is already so fantastic. Isaac Wood is such a legendary writer, in my opinion. So underrated. I think so many more people should really know about this band for a reason, for the way they just play their instruments so well. But hearing this with the album, it made me feel something way more deep earlier. And so when the track had first dropped, and maybe like within that 2 weeks when I already had made my videos, already made my list, and then thinking about it, like, man, I really do think that if I would have had enough time for this track to really set in, it possibly most definitely could have been my number 1. But I think it's also unfair to it not be on the list at all, because it really should have been on my list last year. But like I said, it just didn't have enough time for it to really settle in. So yeah, that's why it's at my number 3 spot. It's such a great song, great creativity. I love the post-rock vibes on here. It's a beautiful track. It's just a masterpiece of a single. Number 2, I'm going to get basic on you again, but man, is the singing beautiful on here. It's going to go to Rachel Chinny Riri's All I Ever Asked. This was the summer pop song of the year for me. I would jam to this all the time in my car. I would just feel her infectious vocal performances all the time into her singing. I loved it when she got a little high on there, hit a little bit of the lows. I love when the times where the beat kind of just shuts off on its own. You hear a little bit of atmosphere trickling down in the background, and you just hear her sing so beautifully. And it was amazing. She is so amazing on this song. I knew on the moments, especially with the harmony layerings, just in total with the layers that she really laid about with this track on here. There was something so special about this song in terms of pop aesthetic. I really don't understand why this track isn't. It's such an easy, digestible track. How is this track not more popular than it is? Because I feel like I could show this to so many people and they would love it. Seriously. Like, you should, if you haven't heard the song and you like pop music, you need to try this out because it is beautiful. Rachel is such a gifted vocalist and she shows it on here. I love what she does on this track. It is easily my favorite pop song on here. It is gorgeous. We got the number 1 spot. The number 1 spot. This has been my summer song of the year. My entire 2022 song of the year. Of a brand new group, a brand new duo that I really felt like is just making a whole different experience into EDM right now. With this track, especially with their first track debut, technically the first track debuted as this name. And the name is KX5, Cascade and Deadmau5 for the track Escape. Cascade and Deadmau5 finally forming into the official name KX5 and then coming out with their very first single. This single, Escape, featuring Wallo, was just such an incredible debut that sparked so much electricity throughout the EDM community. HEATLH had an amazing performance on here, and one that is just so imprinted in my mind. The way how she goes about it, you know, with like kind of like praying into the song, and then once it just explodes with the "What if I escape with you?" Drugs don't get you high like that, man. They do not get you high like that, my guy. Oh my God, it was just so great. I love the progression of this song. This is so good. It's so low key. It's so colorful. It's futuristic. It's a little bit more mind expanding in terms of down tempo music. The synthesizer plucks on here really just pierce through the mix and just bring off so much resonance into the song. This is just such a special track. This was such a special performance that I got to see at EDC for the first time, their very first time performing together. And man, I love this song. This song absolutely dominated for the summer for me. It dominated, and it was for a great reason, because this is one of the kings into EDM right now. This is one of the king tracks for a reason. I do not give a fuck how mainstream you think the song might be. It is that good. It is so good, so pumping. The dance vibes are amazing. Man, if I knew how to fucking shuffle like a pro, I swear to fucking God, man, I fucked that shit up on the dance floor, man. I fucked that shit up. Just you wait. I'ma learn. But yeah, hands down, it's a fucking great electronic song. You need to try it out. That is it. That's my top 50 songs of the year, guys. Hope I got through that pretty quickly. Let me know what were some of your favorite songs of the year down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of my list. What'd you think of my list? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Support the channel. I appreciate it. Have a great night. Deuces.